Hey, this will be a video chart on WAMUQ, Washington Mutual Incorporated. Before I get started, I want to note that it is 3:38 p.m. Eastern Time, so we have 22 minutes left in the day. The reason I am doing this already is just because, despite what happens going in these last 20 minutes, the chart is what it is, and what I mean by that is, we could close up here, and I would still feel the same way about it if we close down here. Today was just brutal. It pretty much set the chart back to ground zero, and if anything is going to come out of this chart, it's going to have to essentially start all over again. And what I'm going to mainly concentrate on is kind of the lower time levels, the 1 minute, 5 minute, and show you how you could have played this bounce here. But as far as the daily chart goes, like I said, it's pretty much broken. I'll spend a little bit of time on it, but unfortunately, from my understanding, the court case or whatever didn't go too well, and obviously the chart reflects that. I think a lot of today's action has to do with traders, just day traders simply, playing the bounces and so forth. I traded it 4 times. I was 3 out of 4. My last trade, it did get me, but like I said, I personally was in and out of it 4 times today, and I'm almost positive I'm not the only one that had done that. So lots of this is just day traders trading back and forth to each other. I know I see some people saying, "Oh, this must be somebody huge loading up and down in this area." Well, I guess that could be a possibility. I doubt it, but I think a lot of it is just shares going back and forth between day traders. Like I said, I did it 4 times, and if somebody else did it 4 times, that's a lot of shares just trading hands. It's not necessarily somebody accumulating everything. It's just simply shares going back and forth, back and forth. So let's go to the 5 minute. Very clearly, at this point here, right at about 12:25 Eastern Time, is when, let's see how it worked out. So pretty much no volume. Then yeah, right here at 12:25, the big downwards volume came in, which was a signal, and then the next bar down here was huge volume, and then you can see volume started to slow up a little bit, stayed heavy, just kept dropping, and then you had these two huge volume bars down here, and this is where the capitulation happened. And what I mean by that is whoever wanted to get out finally got out, and then the stock had some room to breathe, and it had a nice, what was it, about 150% bounce there. But the easiest way, and the way I played it, was using the 1 minute chart. Using the 1 minute, you can see that for basically about a half an hour straight, it just went down, down, down. There was absolutely no sideways action, nothing. It just kept dropping, dropping, dropping. And then finally here, you started to see some down, sideways action. It lasted for about 10-15 minutes where the price finally just started to go sideways. And you can see, not to point out the obvious, but there's a big difference between looking at a section like this and then a section like this. Clearly this is starting to go sideways. You saw, or you could have seen that the volume started to pick up, showing that people were still selling, but there's just a lot more buyers, people on the bids willing to accumulate shares. Here, not too much bid support, and that's why it just kept falling, falling, falling. There just wasn't enough people on the bid. Not the case here. With the sideways action, you can show that the bid, grew strong. I'm sure if you pulled up level 2s during this time period, you would have seen, whatever level that was, right around 10 cents. The bid staying pretty thick and strong. And then that's where the bounce finally came. And like I said, it was a very nice bounce. And for the people that played it, it was, a good time. Like I said, I played it 4 times. 3 times I made money, and then my last time I took a little loss on it, and I should have held, but oh well. But that's what's been going on. This right here is day traders, in my opinion. I don't think there's any sort of conspiracies going on. I don't think there's any sort of MMs holding it down. I think it's just people trading, and that's pretty much what's going on right now. Now, from a daily chart perspective, ideally we'd like to see it close up above this trend line, but even if it does, so much work to do. This today just showed the amount of downward pressure. So any sort of attempted moves to the upside, they're going to be met with heavy resistance. There's still going to be people out here that maybe weren't at their desk or weren't paying attention and are still holding shares, and they just at this point in time want to break even. So any sort of move upwards is going to be met with lots of people just sitting there with sells on the ask and so forth. But who knows? This chart or this stock's been so crazy that, for all I know, Monday is just going to be one big green candle. Probably not, but with as crazy as this one's been, crazier things have happened. Like I said, we've been following this one really closely since December, and unfortunately, this 4 months worth of hard work has all been wiped out in a matter of a week. But I know a lot of people are playing it for the story, and it seems like the story has finally kind of unfolded, and unfortunately, not gone in, the Bulls' favor. But who knows? If there's going to be any sort of hope, the thing we need to watch is this trend line. The further and further the price separates itself from this trend line, the less and less hope you should have. I don't know how much hope is left right now, but I guess we can kind of call this the hope trend line. And like I said, the longer the price can hold this trend line, or maybe even go up from it, then you can still hold out for some hope. But don't you know if it starts to separate, then that's just things. Take it for what it's worth. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but there's just really nothing good you can say about this chart anymore. Besides, if you're a day trader, it was a great one. But if anything, hopefully this trend line of hope can hold up. But I wouldn't count on it. It really seems like this chart's pretty broken. But I've been wrong before, so we'll just have to kind of see what happens. If there are any other questions on the chart, please let me know. If not, I'd encourage you to check out bullwarriorstocks.com. If you go there and sign up for the free newsletter, you'll be sent a free ebook. And with your newsletter subscription, you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things from big boards down to penny stocks. So there's a good variety, something for everybody, and it's all free, so it's worth at least signing up and giving it a try. One last time, this was WAMUQ. Thanks for listening.